Hello, everybody, and welcome to Entrepreneurs International Network Weekly Training. My name is Imana Guy, the founder of Entrepreneurs International Network, and I am super excited for having our amazing guest, Milana Leshinsky. We're going to talk about the coaching industry. We're going to talk about coaching business. And this is a very exciting interview for me because I have a lot of respect for Milana for all the work that she has done for the coaching world and all the results that she's created for the people in the coaching industry. So I'm super excited for this. Milana is an internet marketing pioneer who's helped thousands of coaches scale their business. And since 2001, she's generated over $9 million through courses and programs, authored 2 books, and created Coaching Genie, which is a tool that frees up your time, delivers an amazing client experience, and scales your business. So, Milana, excited to have you here. How are you doing?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me, Iman. Same, ditto, respect for you because we have a special connection and I'm excited to talk to you about this.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Awesome. So, Milana, let's talk about the 3 shifts that you went through to get to 7 figures.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you knew that, Iman, but when I started my business in 2001, I was a web designer. I was not a coach. And coaches started hiring me to do their websites. That's how I discovered the whole coaching space and coaching industry back when the Coachville was alive and well, and Thomas Leonard was creating all kinds of things. Um, and I just really fell in love with the idea of coaching and the coaching industry because all the people that were hiring me were just unusually amazing and kind and generous. And I just kind of really got consumed by the idea of coaching. And so I started coaching people. And I discovered that I don't enjoy one-on-one coaching. And so I did a lot of web design work one-on-one, but when it came to coaching, there's something that was a little different. I felt like a lot of clients were putting responsibility for their results on me, the coach, and I
Mhm.
didn't like that. And I didn't know how to fix that. So I started doing group coaching. And that suddenly gave me so many shifts in not only the experience of leading and facilitating a group, but also the fact that it was so scalable.
Mhm.
And, you can run small groups, large groups, multiple groups, ongoing groups, 8-week groups. The models are just really vary depending on your personality, your goals, your income goals, your lifestyle. And as a former music teacher from Ukraine, I loved the group work. And it just really stole my heart. And I still do, 22 years later, I still do a lot of group coaching. And so that was really a big shift for me, is to discover that I love group coaching. It's extremely scalable, but it's also an opportunity for me not to feel like clients put the responsibility for results on me, but they are now present in this group coaching experience. And they are doing the work. Everybody's doing the work, and now it's not up to them to experience results. So that's kind of the first thing that I discovered very quickly in my journey in the coaching space.
Okay. Amazing. So one thing with the with what you talked about is having a scalable business through the coaching business, which is somehow challenging for some coaches to see themselves doing. Lots of people think like if they're coaching, they got to coach people one-on-one. And if they're not coaching one-on-one, it's just not coaching. And of course, there's lots of misconceptions about that. So can we talk a little bit about that, about like the group coaching, the impact of it, why even a coach should consider doing all this group coaching?
Yeah, that's such a good point. A lot of coaches don't know how to coach in a group format, believing that if they're not coaching somebody directly, it's not really coaching. And I can't disagree with that. Some of the group coaching that people do is not really pure coaching, where a coach asks questions and helps a client discover the answers within. That's like the definition of pure coaching, creating space to discover the answers. What happens a lot in the group coaching environment is facilitation. So your role as a coach changes slightly. You're now a facilitator, a teacher, you know, somebody who creates space for the group to thrive, not necessarily for the client to answer questions for themselves. And as a facilitator, you're also able to create opportunities for your clients to coach each other. And for that reason, you now take in the role of a leader, not just a coach. Not to say that a coach is just a coach, but a leader is now a coach and a leader. So there's just a role shift that happens. Now, I don't remember how that shift happened for me. I simply jumped in and I said, I'm going to coach a group. Here's my curriculum, because that's one piece of your business that needs to be created, is some type of a curriculum or system or blueprint, or you need content so that everybody in your group is on the same page. Otherwise, you'll continue to coach one person at a time in front of a group. That's not very efficient. It's not scalable. And that creates bad practices for your group programs, because then everybody will expect you to coach them individually, right? So you want to bring people together. You just start thinking differently about the role of coaching and your own role in your business.
Yeah, the way that I always looked at it is that coaching is a skill and a business model. If you are following it as a business model, you're probably going to be stuck at around a $40,000 income, because you're just working with people one-on-one and you're trying to just find the next person. Now, if you're doing executive coaching, whatever, you may get yourself to like low six figures, like 110K, 150K, but like with a lot of experience. But coaching as a skill is a skill that can be added to lots of different business models, such as you can run events and seminars and conferences and group programs and all of those things. And in the one-on-one conversations, you can use your coaching skills to help people to go through breakthroughs. And also in a group format, you can guide them through a series of questions to find the answers within. But you wouldn't need to necessarily do the one-on-one work with every single person, which limits your income. And of course, that will also limits your impact, because a lot of times people get aha moments from other people's aha moments. And when you take that away from people, then.
Yeah. I'm also an EFT practitioner, for those people who are familiar with tapping, and we call it the borrowed benefits. You borrow the benefits of someone else being coached and you're witnessing that, so you get the same benefits. But I really love your distinction between coaching being a skill and a business model. Never thought about this in such a way, because many times you are using coaching skills in group coaching programs, such as asking people a really profound question, and now they are searching for the answers within. So you have to have the ability to ask profound, insightful questions. But then you're right, if coaching is a business model, it becomes really your one-on-one coaching practice, which is very limited. My least favorite thing about the one-on-one practice model is that you are booked solid. And I know the words booked solid have a certain meaning for people, almost like, hey, how are you doing, Milana? I'm doing great. I'm very busy. And they say, oh, that's great. And I'm thinking, no, it's not. I don't want to be busy. I want to be booked solid. Booked solid to me is a sign of working hard and not making a lot of money. Right. So, the goal is to work less and make more, but also create your business, set up your business in such a way that you can do that. And group coaching is just perfect for that purpose.
Yeah, I always look at it as it's not just about the income, also the impact. So your impact is also limited. So your income and impact is limited when you're working with people in a one-on-one format only. You may go slightly further when you're working one-on-one as opposed to a group. However, your impact is significantly less as opposed to a group. If you're working with 100 people and 100 people get 80-90% of the impact, you're making a much bigger impact than you're working with one person and that person gets 100% of impact. Anyways, I always look at it as like impact and income but you need to overcome that mindset that everything should be one-on-one, otherwise that can't work, right?
What's really cool is once you have your system, your process, your blueprint, your framework, you can deliver it in any format. It can be a group coaching program, it can be a one-on-one program or a one-on-one VIP day, an event. Once you have the framework, you can just choose to deliver it in any way you want to, including a very scalable way.
Yeah, actually, well, now you and I can actually go a little bit deeper in that one because also that's another thing. Like when you want to create a group program, that requires you to get focused on one particular thing, as opposed to when you are coaching one-on-one, you can work on many different things because you're one-on-one and you can customize it. But when you're working in a group format, you need to be focused on one thing. And that can be scary for many coaches to get focused on one thing because they're like, well, I can do all different type of things. And with all different type of things, I can't make enough money. Now, how do you expect me to just focus on one thing and lose like all the potential of income from selling my services to everyone, which,
Yeah.
of course.
Well, in a group specifically, people need to have affinity with you and the other people in the group. So they need to have some sort of shared experiences. People always ask me, well, how do you get your, because I use my platform, Coaching Genie, has a feature where people can check in every week and everybody else can see their check-in forms. And it's very active and it's a lot of engagement. People ask me, how do you get so much engagement in your groups? And it's because everybody's working towards the same goal. When people are working on different goals, they can't relate to each other. So like you said, it's really important that there is one path. There are many different stops on that path, but there's one path where everybody is journeying on. And so they can relate to each other, can learn from each other, and they appreciate each other's experiences, feedback, and coaching, because they get to coach each other as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Awesome. Now, I want to talk about 3 shifts. So the first shift was a scalable business model beyond working one-on-one. Now, the second thing was a reliable client attraction system.
Yeah.
And I know that you are brilliant in that. And like you do so many amazing work on that. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about reliable client attraction systems.
Yeah. A couple of things I'll say about that. I actually just talked about something. I don't know about you, Iman. You might not have that challenge, but I've always had this fear of rejection. I was growing up in the Soviet Ukraine. I was bullied as a child. I have a whole bunch of experiences where I was rejected as a child. And unfortunately, that translated into my experiences as an adult, as a business owner, and as somebody who needs to sell, right? And so I actually discovered an anti-rejection marketing strategy. Do you know what it is?
Well, tell us. We'd like to hear it.
Well, I feel like it's anti-rejection for me because it has worked so well. It's a virtual summit. So I've used virtual summits really, really well. I hosted the very first one back in 2005. And it was so easy for me to get somebody to say yes to speaking on my platform, kind of like I created a playground called the Summit or Telesummit at the time. People said yes. So that became my client attraction system. And a lot of people will look at that and say, yeah, but summits are so complicated. And they can be. However, when it comes to marketing, it's not all the marketing strategies that you can do. It's what marketing you will do, because you can do a lot, but what will you do? And so that has a lot to do with your I would say, and I call them marketing super skills, marketing superpowers. What are those natural marketing skill set, natural tendencies, um, passions, your personality? So you want to choose the marketing strategies that really fit your personality, that bring you joy. You want to wake up every morning and say, oh my God, I get to do this kind of marketing today. I get to connect with people this way and that way. And so to me, the reliable client attraction system really comes from what kind of marketing will you do? And you will do those things that you enjoy, period. Like your default. What is your default? I know for a fact that when I'm left to my own devices and nobody's telling me what to do as far as marketing and I'm not looking at anybody else, what I will do is I'll probably create some trainings and webinars and teachings. I know you like to teach and train as well. But that's kind of what, I will create stuff. I'll create tools, visuals. So for me, creating and teaching has been my go-to marketing approach. Ask me to go network and I will never market again. Because networking is not necessarily something that I have enjoyed. It requires a lot of I'm not sure yet. I haven't figured it out, but I'm the girl in the corner in any networking meeting, which is why, interestingly enough, I need to be on stage because then I don't have to fight for credibility, attention, authority. I'm already on stage. People already trusted me to be in the room. So a lot of people who ask, well, how are you, an introvert, leading events? The best introversion strategy for for marketing is you go on stage, you create your own platform. So we can talk more about it, like take it in many directions, but what marketing will you do is the question that you should be asking yourself.
I actually have actually not one, couple of the best stories about you when it comes to this actually, because well, you were one of the co-founders of JB Insider Circle. And so at one point, you were the kind of the go-to person, the god of the networking groups.
The goddess.
But
the goddess.
yeah, the goddess of the networking events and groups,
Yeah.
right?
Amazing,
And
right?
and the interesting thing is that, well, I knew that you don't love networking. You're not like, that's not something that you do, right? The funny thing actually with that was that always when you were sending emails to find joint venture partners, for you was only emails. And for all of us, for the rest of us, was like, well, we send an email, we get on a call, we have a conversation with each other, and you're like, don't get on calls. I don't talk. Like, just send me emails. I'll just, if I am forced to get on a call, maybe I force myself to get on a call. But what's wrong with you? Why do you want to get on a call, right? I remember.
Get on calls with people, but it was mainly after I have already met them. It was very different because if I meet somebody at an event, we now have connected, we supported each other, we hugged, we ate, we shared, we broke bread. So it's just a different type of connection. But to do cold calling, or to set up a meeting with a stranger, that's a very different. Like, what are they gonna sell me something? What are we gonna talk about? I always ask my friend who loves connecting network, well, why are you getting on calls, virtual coffee chats? What are you talking about? Can't you make all the decisions by email? So different personalities, and you need to know yourself a little bit more as a marketer. What will you do? What feels natural to you? Because amazingly and thankfully, the things that you are drawn to, you also can hone in, like get really good at, and you're ultimately going to get better results. The very first time I attended a teleclass, I loved it. They were called teleclasses back then, right? Now it's webinars. But teleclasses just captured my heart. And I signed up for a training called Teleclass Leader Success Training. So I could have focused on honing in on my weaknesses and try to work on my speaking and networking skills. But instead, I said, I love this. I want to see how far I can take. And, a few years ago, I had a webinar where just hanging up, finishing the call, I made 100 sales at $2,000.
Wow.
That is when you can fine tune your skill that you are drawn to already, but now you are really honing in on it and making strategic decisions around it. So yeah, what marketing will you do?
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting thing because you were talking about how public speaking is your way to get away with being an introvert. Funny enough, I am an extreme introvert as well. And when I go to events, I'm always in the back of the room and try to hide under the table, try not to talk to anyone. That's why the majority of events that I attend, I'm speaker. So I always go to events if I'm speaking at them. And if I'm speaking, I usually don't hang out around the room until my talk time comes. And then when my talk time comes, I go on stage and then I hang out with everyone because now everybody knows me and I don't need to like what.
You and I are very similar in that. I did not know
Yeah.
that about you.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that I'm the founder of Entrepreneurs International Network, which is a networking group. You were the founder of a networking group. Like all these introverts who actually have a hard time networking are really great at building all these networking groups.
We're creating space for ourselves to connect with others and for others to connect with each other. Yeah.
Yeah, because exactly like the first sentence. So if any introverts on the call, this is the key. Knowing that as an introvert, the first few sentences to someone who doesn't know you is the hardest thing to do. But if people know you, you probably would be comfortable talking to others. So many times people confuse being an introvert with being shy. You can be shy and extrovert, you can be shy and introvert, but being an introvert, generally, one of the signs of it is that you are uncomfortable talking to people who don't know you. And so that's why we love to become the center of influence, meaning that when people come in, we are the host. We can host because everybody knows us. We can speak because everybody knows us. But we don't want to be one of the people in the room that nobody knows. And then now we need to prove ourselves or like say who we are or like all deal with all those uncomfortable things.
Happy. I'm so happy to hear you say that. I always say that you have to prove, I have to prove that I am smart, valuable, experienced, a fun, cool person. And it doesn't happen right away. When I did the JDX with Rich, day one, I was all buttoned up and, very proper. And by day three, I had my shoes off on stage. So, those are the kind of things that you kind of learn about yourself as you grow your business and your market and you take those steps and kind of like, oh, no, this doesn't fit. Oh, this was fun. I want to do more of that. So, yeah.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, so one of the things I need to ask you is why do so many coaches resist marketing? And what can they do to create a client attraction system that works? So let's do this. Like we talked a little bit about this right now anyways, but let's put that into like kind of a better, like one solid thing.
I think the most concise answer I can give you is that most people will look for a formula. But when they find a formula and it doesn't work for them, they start questioning their entrepreneurial abilities. Am I meant to be an entrepreneur? Maybe I'm not meant to be a marketer. I need to hire a marketer. I need to partner with a marketer, or I'm just going to go get a job. So that is a big piece of it because, you really need to get to the place of understanding that just because a formula worked for somebody else, especially for its creator, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you, right? So formulaic marketing is not it's not going to work. You really need to be aware of your internal motivations, how you work, what you will and will not do, everything that we just talked about. So it's not really about the formula. I take dance classes at Arthur Murray. I've been taking them for 12 years now. And when I first started, I was asking the teacher, is this right? Is this correct? Is this how you do it? Is this the right way to dance? And he would say, yep, yep. Now when I ask, he goes, come on, Milana, you've been dancing for 13, 12 years. You know that there's this way to dance, but you can also dance in 17 other ways around the same step, around the same dance, around the same pattern. But you don't get there until you're experienced. The same with marketing. You know that you need certain elements, like we know that you need first to have an offer. You need to understand your niche. You need to have visibility. You need to build your audience, like all of those principles, right? But within those principles and the big rocks, there are so many different ways to achieve that and to do that. And so that's where you can play with the formulas and do it your way. So I like to say trailblazers market their own way. Trailblazers, people who really love the idea of being unique and innovative and stand out, because there's so many coaches, especially post-pandemic, thousands of new coaches have entered the market. What do we do with all of those coaches, right? Younger coaches, people who woke up yesterday and said, I want to be a coach. You're competing with them as well, right? So you need to do something a little different, a little innovative. And so to be able to do that, you really need to market your way. And the best way to market your way is to really know yourself. I hate that word authentic. We always use that, but it's such a great moment to say that. Be authentically yourself, and your marketing will unveil in a unique way, just because you're different than everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. There are lots of things that we judge ourselves or things that we're comfortable in, as opposed to stepping into our greatness and accepting that that's our way and that's what we're comfortable in, and we can actually be the best of the best following our greatness. And maybe somebody else doesn't make sense to someone else for that, but for us it makes sense. And we need to learn it, and we need to adjust it, we need to improve it, and we need to find our own way. Lots of things.
I was going to say that word that you just said, accept yourself.
Yeah.
It's not only great for marketing, it's great for life.
Yeah.
Especially if you have kids and they tell you what kind of mom you are, what kind of person you are, and you haven't accepted yourself, it can really hurt you. I've experienced that, like accepting yourself as you are, as a business owner, as a marketer as well. It's okay that this didn't work for you. There are many other ways that you can market yourself, and that you'll be surprised that it will work for you. You just need to really listen. Kind of listen to your body, even like when I hear the words, and I don't know, you're probably an expert on this, Iman, but I'm not, and I really can't stand Facebook ads. I've tried them, didn't work for me, lost a lot of money. So now I literally like put my hand on my heart, say Facebook ads, and I get this jolt in my gut that just resists with all my body. I don't want to do Facebook ads. I don't care that you'll tell me it's easy, or you can make it fun, or you're a great teacher. It doesn't matter. I already have this gut feeling that tells me, nope, not for you. And I'm sure everybody listening have their own gut feeling around any strategy. And just listen to where your energy takes you. Like if you're feeling drawn and pulled towards it, do it, try, experiment with it, and improve on it, right?
It's a funny thing. So between the two of us, we have had multiple seven-figure companies. And you thought I use Facebook ads, but I don't.
You don't?
No, we have lost over $500,000 in investments for running Facebook ads that didn't work. And we have hired the best of the best of the best experts in the world to run them for us and build funnels for them and everything else. Now, these funnels, these things are being run toward a company that's already generating seven figures. So it's not like, oh, that offer doesn't work. the system is bad, the product is bad. No, that product's already making 7 figures, but we couldn't make the Facebook ads part of it work and the rest of it, right? Now, here is the interesting thing. There are a million ways to build $1 million company.
Yes.
And neither one of us have used what lots of people say we should use, and yet we have had our amazing, great ways of the companies that we needed to build. So anyways, if anybody is sitting here and thinking like, if I don't do ads, I'm gonna lose money. If I don't do this, if I don't do this, if I don't do this, that's just extra pressure that's impacting you negatively for absolutely no reason. And just find a way that works for you. And for us, joint venture partners, public speaking worked the best, the most amazing way. And Milana, what worked for you? What was the thing that worked the most for you?
Public speaking is not my favorite thing, but I do love webinars and I love teaching. So like having a workshop that I designed with some creative components and guiding people through a creative experience to experience some aha moments is my favorite thing, because when people experience aha moments, they start really leaning in and trusting you and seeing you as an authority. By the way, I have a theory why Facebook ads didn't work for you and me. I don't know if I'm right, but can I share the theory?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's because when you are innovative, a Facebook ad is not enough to communicate what it is you are proposing to people, what value you're bringing. You need a whole webinar, you need a whole workshop, you need a presentation, you need something, you need a launch, you need something beyond a little square on the screen. And so that's one of the reasons that I believe that I could never explain what it is that's so special and unique about what I'm selling in a Facebook ad. So that is something that I wanted to mention.
For us, we even use the ads to run people to webinars. We use the ads to run people to pages and launches and education series. And pure simple, their conversion rate and the engagement rate of the leads that were coming from Facebook comparing to all our other lead sources were significantly less. And again, like it's not like I'm talking about like, oh, I just decided one day to run my own ads. We hired the best of the best of the best experts to help us with that. And again, $500,000 is not little money that like say like, oh, you didn't try it long enough. Anyways, but it was a situation with us. Milana, there are tens of thousands of tools out there when it comes to marketing, right? Like one of my own companies develops tools and everything for marketing. There are lots of tools, ClickFunnels, ActiveCampaign, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we can sit here and forever name tools that people use for their marketing. And yet people are struggling with marketing. There are all these different tools. There are all these different type of educations, and yet people are struggling. Why do you think that is?
Yeah. Well, I discovered through my EFT practice that people can learn all kinds of marketing strategies and all kinds of marketing methods and tools. But the mindset piece, I don't like to talk about mindset because I always felt like, once I learn the strategy, I will do it. Of course I'll do it. I'm self-disciplined. I'm an entrepreneur. I wake up, I know what to do. But there is a ceiling that every one of us will hit at some point. For some of us, that ceiling might be a 5-figure business or a 6-figure or a 7-figure. I know some 8-figure business owners who complain that they can't break through that, right? I look at them and think, oh, to be at 8 figures is wonderful because I've never been there. But it's the mindset piece. It's all the things that we have put into our heads about marketing. And when we say marketing, it's everything. It's visibility, it's fear of criticism, fear of judgment, not feeling unique enough. For me, it's all, sometimes it's not trusting myself that I'll be able to be a great coach and that I will bring the value to people. And of course, there is a whole bunch of conversation around the idea that you're responsible to your clients, not for your clients. And that many times what I want my clients to get away from my work is not what they actually can take away for them, and they feel transformed, but in a different way than I want them to be transformed. So we have a lot of the different hangups. And so as an EFT practitioner, what I've done is I have collected all the negative beliefs about marketing that people have told me. Marketing is pushy and sleazy and manipulative. Marketing is disruptive for me as a coach, as a business owner, that I have to stop everything I'm doing and market myself. And disruptive to my potential clients, because now they have to get my emails and attend my webinars. It's disruptive to them. This is all the things that we are, thinking about it. My marketing is not working. Nobody's paying attention to my marketing. Launches are too complicated. It's awkward to ask for referrals. Like all the things that I've ever heard from people, what I've done is I actually turned it into a card deck. For those people who are familiar with the concept of a card deck, inspiration card deck, there are oracle card decks. Well, I created a marketing card deck. And so on one side of each card is a negative belief or fear. On the other side is a positive reframe and an action-inspired question. And it's almost like a marketing workshop in a box. So the reason I'm talking about the card deck is because I can teach you everything I know about marketing, and you will still not take action. And that is the reason why, among thousands of strategies out there, people still don't take action. It's because there are certain things that we see through our own experience as a marketer and through the experience of being marketed to badly, right? All of those things that have accumulated in our brains. And so you might have spent years learning marketing, maybe taken courses and worked with a coach, and for whatever reason, you're just not marketing, or you're not really, you experience a lot of resistance, right? So these positive reframes are very empowering. And, I like to say to my clients, here's a deck, spend 30 days writing the answers on the back of the card, to the questions on the back of the card. Your relationship with marketing will completely change. So it's the cheapest and the best product I've ever created, because it's only a card deck.
It's called Marketing Mojo Card?
It's called Marketing Mojo Method. I don't know if Becky wants to put a link in the, yep, there you go. Marketingmojomethod.com is the card deck. And, I will not work with any client at this point without sending them a card deck. And I use it all the time. We start our coaching sessions with, so how do you feel about marketing? And they'll tell me, and I take notes, and I'm like, okay, sounds like you need these 3 cards today. And we work through them, and they walk away just light bulb over their head, because they start seeing things a little differently in marketing. And so that's something that I am super grateful. I was actually surprised that it doesn't exist, because it seems obvious. Marketing mindset is such a big thing. Why doesn't anything like that exist? And I signed up for a card deck design masterclass with Marcy Nelson Garrison in the summer, and this idea was birthed. So I'm super grateful for that class.
Okay, I'm actually looking at the cards right now. They look pretty.
Aren't they amazing? I had a great designer who came up with the design concept and really helped bring it to life, bring those mindset reframes to life, for sure. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. They look actually, yeah. Awesome. That's fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing that. And I'm glad that actually exists. Sometimes I share with people something that I call like once in a while in my class, I tell people, I'm about to, I tell them, sometimes I share secrets every single day, and they stay secret because nobody listens to me. And I'm about to share $1 million secret with you that probably I've shared with people for the last 7 years. And it's still the secret because nobody listens to me. When you do this video, say this magical sentence. I have generated over $1 million from this magical sentence. Just in the next video that you're going to record, just use it, right? And I tell them, and then bam, next thing I know, I'm watching their videos and that sentence isn't there. And I'm like, are
I'm gonna know now.
you right? No, but like for example, like that sentence, for example, like I had this sentence because I used to do podcasts on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and then at the end of any episode, I would tell people, hey, if you've always wanted to work with a mentor to help you on blah blah and take your hand and walk you every step of the way, just go to our website.com/apply and book a call with me to see if one of our mentorship programs is a great match for you, right? So we had this podcast, it was weekly, and when we didn't have a lot of listeners, about like 70, 80, 90 listeners that were listening to it live. I always recorded podcasts live, so like this one, right? And like we had like 70, 80 listeners, and we had like 7 to 10 people were applying for a one-on-one call. And then on the calls, we were offering a $10,000 mentorship program. And we were selling anywhere between 3 to 7 mentorship packages a week at $10,000. And I tell people, I'm like, that's all I did for a couple of years. My focus on marketing was doing a podcast every single week, having 70, 80 people live, and just sending, and then at the end, say this magical sentence. And they were generating like $30,000 to $70,000 a week from it. And,
Amazing.
and just people simply don't listen to that simple sentence. If you don't have a mentor who can take your hand and walk you every step of the way, go to blah blah, apply for mentorship, see if one of our mentorship programs is a good match for you. Well, easy? Couldn't be easier than this. Do people do it?
And it's also an example of the client attraction system that is reliable, that worked for you, right? That
Right.
worked for you. Podcast, invite people, bam.
Yeah.
Lisa, just like me, wants to know the magical sentence.
Right. No, actually, it was what I just said, right? So let's say, for example, what I teach people is create and sell online courses, right? So then in that case, the magical sentence would be, hey, if you have always wanted to create and launch your online course, but you don't have a mentor who can take your hand and walk you every step of the way, go to mywebsite.com/apply and fill in an application form to see if one of our mentorship programs is a good match for you. That's as simple as that. If you're a health expert and you're working with people on diabetes, hey, if you have always struggled with diabetes and you don't have a mentor who can take your hand and walk you every step of the way, then simply go to mywebsite.com/apply to see one of our mentorship programs so you with diabetes is a good match for you. As simple as that, right? But sometimes just people don't take action. And I really love your Marketing Mojo method card because it goes deep into what if people don't like me? Well, because it's a mindset thing. Like people don't do it because sometimes we have a fear of success. Sometimes we have a fear of being seen. Sometimes we have a fear of being exposed. Sometimes we have a fear of whatever it is that you have to overcome. And that's actually what I was, as you were talking about this, I was looking at the cards and I saw like how
There's
deep.
one card called What If People Don't Like Me?
No, that's why I'm actually saying it. So I'm actually sharing it. I'm in Canada, so I'm seeing the price in the Canadian dollars. But the more I have to share this here, like that is the card. Like what if people don't like me? Nobody pays attention to my marketing. What if, right? So you have all these amazing cards, like fear of being interviewed. Like these cards are not just simple, like like these are the core reasons that people don't take action to on all these strategies and methods and all of these things they hear because there is a subconscious thing that's getting in the way. And that's why I really enjoyed the card. Like when I looked at the cards, I'm like, yeah, these cars are necessary for anyone that's doing the marketing, and they don't know the subconscious reasons that's getting in the way.
And a lot of that happens as a result of something, some childhood trauma or, young years trauma.
Yeah.
The reason why you might have this feeling, what if people don't like me? It's not safe to share my opinion. And, as a business owner, you need to have your own opinion. It is valuable, it matters, and it makes you stand out. So that's a big part of it. But there's a lot of those negative messages that we have in our heads as a result of something that happened to us unrelated to business or marketing, just something that is subconsciously. So I like to say anybody can market if they can get out of their own way. And you can actually heal a lot of other issues as you become a better marketer, because marketing forces you to, to be more visible, to connect with people. So a lot of the things that you're going to be doing as a marketer will push you a little bit outside your comfort zone, to the point where you will find, like, this is what I love to do and this is what I want to really improve.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, I looked at that, and now we can talk for a couple of hours about that, but we're not gonna do that. So if anybody is interested, you can get that information. Those of you who are watching the recordings, you can get that information at marketingmojomethod.com, marketingmojomethod.com for the cards, and you can get access to that. But I have one last question for you, and that is, what's the secret to growing your coaching business without burnout?
Well, as you know, I actually ended up leaving one of the businesses about 11 years ago because I burnt out. And I burnt out at the top of my game. I was making beyond 7 figures. I thought I was doing amazing. But the thing is that when I hit 7 figures, I hadn't even realized that I was at 7 figures, because I was too sleepy, too tired, too busy, and not having fun, actually. And asking myself, is this all there is? I learned a lot about burnout since then. I remember sitting in my armchair after having sold the business and asking myself, am I still an entrepreneur? Because I don't have a business. I don't have products. I don't have any obligations. I don't have any appointments on my schedule. Well, what's next? And so from that point on, I decided to build my business in a burnout-free manner. What that means is that I became extremely aware of what kind of business, what kind of things I wanted to do. And so listening to my heart, my body, my brain, and saying no to anything that didn't feel like it's going to bring me absolute joy and happiness. And it's such a cliche thing to say, only do what you love, but that is really the secret to being burnout free. Also understanding your business model that you're building and rejecting anything that doesn't fit your business model. For example, in my new business model, I don't have to do live events. I could, but I don't have to. And I am very aware of that. In my new business model, I can focus on creating and building and designing and leading groups, and do it all online. I don't have to travel around the country. I remember my coach in early days, I published a book. It's an old book, but people still buy it. It's called Coaching Millions from 2007. He wanted me to fly around the country and speak to coaching groups. And I had 2 kids at home, 5 and 9. And I remember thinking, I can't do that. I let the coach go. I said, thank you, but no, thank you. And decided to build my business differently. And, there are many ways to build a 7-figure business.
Yeah.
And if you've been at it for a while and you're not hitting your financial goals, and you're still tired and feeling close to burnout, re-examine your business model, re-examine your marketing activities, and stop listening to people who do not have your superpowers. because they will take you in the wrong direction. They truly, honestly, genuinely believe that they're giving you the best advice, but it's a great advice for them.
Yeah.
Check with yourself, hit delete on anything that doesn't fit your personality, your natural abilities, and just do things more your way. So that would be my secret, is do things your way and stop doing the formulas and formulaic business growth strategies, because you have your own formula. One last thing I'll say about that: there is no guru. You are the guru for yourself. There is no guru.
Milana, we didn't talk about Coaching Genie,
Oh,
but Coaching Genie is a very valuable tool for coaches. And do you want to talk a little bit about the Coaching Genie? And also, I know that you wanted to talk about the demo for it. So you want to talk about all of that?
yeah. So as I mentioned to you, I've been doing coaching programs for many years, ever since I started my business, Discover Group Coaching. I've always been piecemealing everything, like all the pieces that you need to do or need to deliver for a group coaching program to come together. And there was nothing. There were course builders out there. You could build a course and deliver content. But I wanted to do things like I wanted to assign a piece of homework, and then I wanted people to submit homework to me for my feedback. I wanted to send out announcements and encouragements between the calls. I wanted to remind people about the calls, and I wanted to have group members connect with each other and support each other. And so I ended up using a course builder, a CRM, emails, Google Docs, spreadsheets. Like, it was just very fragmented. So I actually decided to build my own system 6 years ago, and it's called Coaching Genie. Genie like the magic lamp, Genie. And it consolidates everything. It brings everything together for you. So whether you are doing group coaching, or you're creating one-on-one coaching programs, or you want to do e-coaching, which is basically email coaching without the live calls, or mastermind groups, it kind of allows you to upload all of your content into one place, and then build curricula, plural curricula for different clients, different programs, different groups very easily. And so it has phenomenal feedback mechanisms according to our customers. And the communication between you and the clients stays in the platform, which is super convenient, and also allows your clients to respect your boundaries, so that they don't personally email you and demand your attention. And the members can use journals and weekly progress forms. Just everything you need to deliver a really extraordinary client experience is inside Coaching Genie. And there is a free demo. It's a 2-minute video if you sign up, and it'll give you an overview of what it can do for you.
Perfect. And that is at coachinggenie.com for everybody who's watching the recording. So if you're a coach, you run masterminds, you run any other programs where you're communicating with the clients back and forth, we highly recommend to check coachinggenie.com. And that comes from a person who actually owns a software company called Actioner, where we call it the ultimate all-in-one tool. But what Coaching Genie does is different. It's a different focus, different. It just is super focused for coaches, so it's a different structure. So I highly recommend you, if you're a coach and you work with people and give them homework, you get the homework back, all of those things, definitely check out Coaching Genie in a big way. Awesome, Milana. It's been an honor and pleasure to have you today on this week's EIN training. Is there anything that I had to ask you and I didn't? Oh, what happened to your audio? Let me see. Okay, you can unmute yourself again.
Yeah, once I muted myself, I was unable to.
Right.
Yeah. So what was the question? Anything else I want to add?
Yeah, I said, is there anything that I had to ask you and I forgot?
Yeah. This might go against some of the advice that you hear out there, or maybe some of the things that you personally feel. But as somebody who already experienced 7 figures, I can tell you that when you hit those 7 figures, the rainbows don't appear in the sky and angels don't sing for you. I thought they would, but they didn't. And so that was such a huge aha moment for me, is that I no longer strive for 7 figures. I optimize my business for happiness, for joy, and still making a lot of money, but I don't have like that. I need, to get there, because now I'm running a new business. And so still working on it and still developing it, but it's no longer my holy grail of success. And that you realize maybe with age, I don't know, maybe I'm getting old, but it's no longer something that really is uber important to me as it used to be when I first started.
I always say being at 7 figures just shows you that you got the product right and the marketing right, but that's it. Doesn't mean that everything that you are doing is gonna be perfect. And
You
so
won't know, because everything in business is an experiment. And
right.
that's what a lot of people are afraid to do, is experiment. Try it. We don't know. Even when you coach clients, like, you give them advice and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I used to blame my coach. You told me to do this. I did what you told me, and it didn't get any sales. And then I learned that everything in business is an experiment, and you just need to try and see what works for you and your market.
Awesome. Milana, thank you very much. It was great to have you here, and thanks to all of you for joining us today live and listen to this interview. And Milana, I look forward to seeing you at another summit, event, conference, hopefully in person, if you ever come to anything in person. And to all of you who are here, look forward to seeing you next week or on another Entrepreneurs International Network call or another call from any other of our organizations and companies. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your day and have a good day.